Okay, and here we have the beef tongue. As you can see, they're pretty big. This one weighs in about 1.5 kilos. You'd probably want anything from 1.1 to 1.8 kilos is a good size to go with. And you can also see under here, there's quite a lot of meat in on the underside, marbled with some fat. So we're actually going to cook this completely whole as it is, and then once it's cooled, we're going to peel off this surface of the skin, trim off some of this fat here underneath, because that's not necessarily what we want for serving in the tacos, although it is completely edible. I'd probably just shred it and use it on top of some nachos or something instead. Okay, getting stuck straight into our ingredients. There's 1 onion, 4 cloves of garlic, 6 bay leaves, a teaspoon of black peppercorns, and 2 tablespoons of salt. Along with these are a guajillo chili, 2 anchos, and 2 chipotles. Everything into a bowl. You don't really need to prep or chop anything. This is all just going to cook down with the beef tongue. Add all of these ingredients to your cooking method of choice. I'm using a pressure cooker. You could also braise this in the oven or slow cook it. Probably take about 3 hours or so to undergo that process. The pressure cooker will get it done in about 90 minutes, so I'm just choosing to use that option. So add all the ingredients, tongues, all of your aromatics, and top it off with water, or here I'm using some chicken stock because I had it available. And then bring it up to a boil and set it to cook, whether it's in your oven, your slow cooker, or just set your pressure cooker for an hour and a half and let it go. Now, to start with the toppings, we're going to make a very easy Pico de Gallo, just using a box grater with 6 tomatoes grated on the large side toothed grater, as well as half a red onion and 1 green chili, which I like to do on the smaller side where you do Parmesan cheese. Scrape all that into a bowl, add about half a lime's worth of juice and a teaspoon or so of salt, and then we can adjust everything afterwards. But for now, mix all that together and put into a strainer to let all the liquid run out, and then you can adjust for lime juice and salt afterwards once that's all drained off. The next one we're going to make is going to be a very simple crema, some sour cream sauce basically. So with the zest of 1 lime and 1 finely grated clove of garlic, you're going to add to a bowl and then mix in some sour cream, about half of the punnet. Mix that all together until it comes to a really nice consistency, and then from there you can start to adjust the flavors. There's not really a recipe for this, it's more about how good it tastes to you. So add a bit of salt, have a taste, add a bit of lime, have a taste, and get it to that sweet spot where you like it. And then once you've reached a flavor you're happy with, I like to add a little bit of water to mix through and adjust the consistency till it's a nice pourable sauce that you can just slosh right over the top of the tacos. It should run off of a spoon quite easily. Moving back over to the beef tongue, mine has finished cooking in the pressure cooker, and I've taken it out and allowed it to cool for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, just till I can handle it a little more comfortably, so I can peel off the layer of skin. So run a knife straight up from the tip of the tongue all the way to the back, if you will, and just start peeling off all of the large chunks of skin. I know this can seem a little bit gross, but eating it is far more unpleasant than this little process of taking it off, so try and find yourself a way to enjoy it. Take all of that off of the tongue, and then we're going to actually set it in the fridge to form up completely before we then slice it and clean off the underside and such. So be a bit thorough with this because it's not super tasty. It's got a very leathery texture. Now that the tongue's had time to cool, we're going to just clean it up a little bit before slicing it and getting it ready to prepare into tacos. So just take a knife and cut off that bottom underside where a lot of the fat and the tougher muscly parts of the tongue are. We're not going to want those for slicing into taco bits. Once that's taken off, grab the tongue, lay it down flat on the board, and start slicing it into planks about the thickness of your thumb, 1.5 to 2 centimeters wide, into big rounds, because then we're going to fry those up in a fry pan. This is basically the end of the tongue preparation before making tacos, so box all this up, put it in your fridge and save it. Okay, so it is almost taco time. In order to get this ready as a hot taco filling, put a few pieces into a fry pan over medium heat and cook them until they start to caramelize and go nice and golden brown. Once everything's ready, give them a flip and drop a knob of butter into the fry pan with them. And I like to put in a nice good spoon of chipotles in adobo, and kind of just then treat this like a steak if you're cooking it and basting it in the butter, and cook off some of that chipotle till it gets nice and aromatic and fragrant. And then you've got a really nice chipotle beef tongue dripping in butter, which is just going to make the most phenomenal taco you'll probably ever put in your mouth. So the tortillas I got for making these actually turned out to be a little bit too small for the size of the tongue, so I've cut them down into half again, and then proceeding to fill a taco, which I'm not entirely sure I need to tell you how to do. Not to mention, I clearly don't seem to know how to film and put that in shot myself, so here's me doing most of it outside of your line of sight. But basically load everything in and stuff it into your face.